If social mood is a very fundamental aspect of human society, and there are waves of positive social mood and negative social mood, do you think it would affect other things people do? Everybody doesn't buy and sell stocks. Some people just sit around listening to music. What kind of music are they listening to? When the trend is up, they tend to listen to happier stuff. Back in the 1950s and 60s, you had doo-wop music, rockabilly, dance music, surf music, British Invasion, all upbeat, happy material. As the value of stocks fell from the 60s into the early 80s, you got psychedelic music, hard rock, heavy metal, very slow ballads in the mid-70s, and punk rock finally in the late 1970s. It was all negative-themed music. As the recovery in the 80s and 90s took hold, you had breakdancing come out, techno-type music, pop music was back on the airwaves, and in the 90s, I thought this was incredible. Even country music, which was all about crying in your beer and your dog died, was suddenly dancing like crazy and celebrating, and titles like Happy Girl and things like that even affected country music. And of course, at each of the major peaks, you get bubblegum music. That's about as poppy as you can get, and now that the trend has turned down, those will change as well. Well, it isn't just what people are hearing, it's also what they tend to want to go see in the movie theaters. When the trends are up, the movies tend to be of a different type of theme. They tend to feature black and white heroes, they tend to be a little lighter, or at least there's a lot of lighter fare available. When the trend is down, such as in the 70s, you have a lot of negative themes. Now what we've done here is I've only tied together two types of movies: Disney cartoons and horror movies. You'll notice that the seminal horror movies that we all have come to know and love, that means The Mummy, Frankenstein, Dracula, King Kong, and Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, all came out within 3 short years, 1931, 32, and 33, during the social mood collapse. There weren't any other innovative movies, horror movies during that period. It was over. It's a very quick decline, but all of those were groundbreaking new horror movies. Almost nothing occurred when the trend turned up new again. In fact, in 1937, someone came out with a movie called The Wolf Man. It was a complete flop because the social mood was back up again. Nobody wanted to go see it. In 1942, at that bottom, you'll see it came out again. It was quite a major hit. Disney was very popular during the uptrend with his cartoons. And right at the peak, you had Mary Poppins. The last one Disney did for many, many years was The Jungle Book in 1967. That was the peak of mood right there in the 60s. They did not produce another cartoon during the bear market period, during the declining social mood period, but suddenly, the year after Jungle Book, Night of the Living Dead came out. Another groundbreaking horror movie, just as we had in 1931, and it was followed by Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Halloween, and Friday the 13th, as the social mood got lower and lower and lower. Now, they continued making them. They always do derivative things, even though the trend is up again, and everybody agrees they're not as scary and they're not as good. Well, it took Disney quite a few years to realize the trend was up, but once they realized it, they went crazy. They've been releasing family fare cartoons again as the social mood has been very, very high.